Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back to the Scott Ree Project. Now, today, I want to do something with this beautiful goose. This has been in my freezer since Christmas. We're now halfway through February, so I thought I'd get it out and do something with it. So first thing I'm going to remove, obviously, is the giblets. Now, I want to make a goose ballotine, which is basically a boned and rolled goose. Now, two options. We bone out the bird completely, we leave the legs on, or we take the legs off and roll the legs into the ballotine, or we could just take those legs off and do some confit goose legs. Haven't made my mind up. That's the way I'll roll, baby. I live on the edge. Either way, first thing we need to do then is get it completely untrussed and then start the boning out procedure. Oh, look, it's got lovely little booters on. Hey, Christian Louboutin for the goose. Okay. So if you're going to try this at home, do leave your goose to the last moment. It's greasy enough as it is. So just before you're going to bone it, take it out of your fridge. So very simple then. I'm just going down the backbone, just loosening off the skin. And what we need to do is find the leg joints. So taking in all the meat on that leg, as you can see there, taking our time, just gently peeling it back. Now this is where a sharp knife is imperative. Being sure to take in that bone there, that's what catches you out, this bone here. So again, just looking for the wing joint, and we'll spin it round and just start peeling back the skin to marry up the other side, and then again catching that bone, that tricky bone there. As you can see, your knife can go one side of it, so make sure you catch it right. Now this method is the same for any bird you want to debone, be it a turkey, a chicken, a pigeon, a pheasant, a quail, any size. This is the method, and really it is easier than you think. Now I'm just going into the ball joint there, just using the tip of the knife, very gentle. You don't want that knife to slip. And again, repeat with the other side. You can actually manipulate it a bit if you want. Then we're through. So, like a turkey, goose, it's a lot of carcass, you know. When this comes off the bone, you will see really how much bone there is on it. But really, I'm not doing much. I'm just letting it do its own thing. Again, we get to the wing tips, just round that ball socket, and then again we're just following down that rib. You can actually get your hands in, help it along, as you can see there with your thumb, just very gently. Now we're coming to that breastplate. This is where we want to be careful. We don't want to go through the skin, but hey, listen, if you go through the skin, it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal at all. Anything can be remedied. So, just gently down. And then, if you can see there, with the other side, right up to the bone. Taking in that tenderloin. And then just start loosening off the back, nice and gentle. Then once we get it started, we can start going right up close to that breastbone. Here is the gold, look. Goose fat, duck fat, whatever it is. Beautiful. So just going over the front very gently. Now basically, if you look, that is just hanging on by the tip of that breastbone. So we'll loosen right to the end of it until we're right just hanging on just by a bit of cartilage, pushing it away. And you should, if you can see, pull, and that should, he says, give you one clean, partially deboned goose. Okay, like I said then, when you weigh it up, look, there really isn't a lot of meat on them. But what I want to do is trim that off. So with these wings, just very simple. If you start it off, hold it up, get the heel of your boning knife and just scrape down. Nice clean bone. Help it out the way by just cutting any sinews. And there, just folding it, we have a one bone. So just spin it round then, just starting that bone off. If I can hold that up for you, just finding the shape of it, and then knife away. Again, same method, hold it up, scrape it nice and clean. Basically, you're folding it into itself, just like that. Then you can nip that off, and there you have that. So, just want to get rid of a bit of the excess fat, not too much, but just tidy it up. It's pure gold, isn't it? Melt it down, it is liquid sunshine. So, what we're going to do here, I'm in two minds, you know, do we take these off or do we leave them on and bone them in? I'm really fancying the idea of maybe some confit goose legs. I don't know, either way. What I'm going to do is just I'm going to strip that back, square it off, again strip that back, square it off, and pretty much we are left with our lovely goose breast bones. So what we need to do then, if I'm going to stuff that, just want to give it a little fettle. So just loosening any meat. And any sinew. Okay, so that's enough to put our stuffing in, and it gives us enough to tie it up. Beautiful. So our legs then, we will come back to those. Just trimming again any excess fat. Super, 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 super greasy these are. Yeah, I think I'll salt those down and confit those. Be absolutely gorgeous. But in the meantime, we'll have a wipe down. So greasy, goosey loosey. And then we'll get on and make a wonderful stuffing. Okay then, for our stuffing, couldn't be easier. I've got about, what, 250 grams of decent sausage meat. I'll put it all in. Now here I have got a very simple mushroom duxell. What I did here then, I got half a pound of mushrooms, chopped them really fine just on the block, kept working my knife through them. I've got 2 small shallots, again chopped fine, and then 2 cloves of garlic in a pan, nice and warm, with some butter, a little bit of oil to stop the butter burning, and then just gently keep stirring these until all the moisture comes out and they dry out. And I added a bit of chopped fresh parsley, It's beautiful. Use whatever mushrooms you want. You could use wild mushrooms, hydrated mushrooms, closed cap, whatever floats your boat, baby. So next, I'm just going to add some breadcrumbs. Now, I didn't have my food processors, so what I did, I got a stale loaf, cut it into manageable sized cubes, put it in the oven till it was nice and dried out, and basically just put it on the board and hit the bejesus out of it. Easy. Couldn't be easier. So basically we got a sausage meat and mushroom stuffing. Absolutely superb. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh sage. I mean, that smells absolutely fantastic. I mean, you could put whatever you want in here. If you just want to open up a pack of Paxo, go for it. So, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, I'll just chop some fresh sage. Nice, fresh sage. If you can't get this, by all means, use some dried. I must have, what, 5 leaves there. Just chop it. And like everything I do, you know, don't be too fussy. That is enough. I'm just eyeballing it just to add to that. And then crack 1 egg in. And then 1 final mix. Now if you want, you could put that on chill. But I'm going to get it straight in my goose. Give it a good goose in. Have a look at that. Okay, now the fun part. I'm just going to take a little bit more fat out of that. Just by skimming across the top of it. Obviously when you're cooking a goose, you see where that fat lies. That's what you need to prick to release all that beautiful goose fat. And then I'm just going to basically just make a sausage just to go down the middle. Now it doesn't matter if a bit comes out each end. We can sort that out, and then basically I'm going to fold it together and give it a shape. You know, this is where you want to look now. Have you got too much fat on it, too much skin? Make sure it's closed. Like that. Roll it, manipulate it. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to start tying. Right, so I'm just going to spin it round. I'm just going to make sure I'm going to tuck that one end and the other end. Just always just shaping it up. And the first knot, very, very light. We're just holding this together. With that holding knot, I shall put a link in the description. When I say a holding knot, it's not the kind of knot which you pull really tight, because all the innards will come out. That's simple. So just one across its length, and gently we will spin it round. Now you can always use a poultry trussing needle at the end just to tighten it up. But this knot, as you can see, I've tied one knot, tied another knot to it. I'm taking the knot to the meat, not too tight, tying it off. And then again, so one knot, the main knot, and then another knot to hold it, and again, knot to the meat. And I will put a link to both of these knots in the description. And then we just continue all the way along. Nice and steady, no pressure, just showing it basically the meat. And what you'll find is that it will all even out and you'll get a nice, almost solid, finished Ballotine. So, as you can see there, look, pulling it, we're not putting any pressure on it. It's just pulling itself tight. And like I said, you will get a bit of leakage. Do not worry about it. As long as you've got plenty in there, job, as they say, is a good one. How's that looking? How beautiful. So if you're not sure about those ends, by all means, just sew them up. So greasy. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get this in to the oven. Really simple knots. Just closing that end. No big deal. Through there like that. Look at that. I could make a surgeon, couldn't I? And there we have it. Ready to go on a baking tray, seasoned in the oven. I can't wait to try this. Okay then, so we're going a bit Heath Robinson. I want it to sit up out of that fat. By all means, make a trivet out of the bones. What I want to do is get my Ballotine on top of there. Now I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees. We've got this on here. We want it to sit out of the fat. We want this skin to crisp up nice. So what I'm going to do then, very simple, doesn't it look good? I think I'll put it on that angle, is season it and then get it in the oven, and we'll check it after about 60 minutes. Up high then, some salt and some pepper. Like I said then, in the oven, 180 degrees initially for an hour. I'm looking forward to this. Okay then, so waste not, want not. What I'm going to do, into more manageable size pieces, I'm going to get my goose fat in this tray. Very simple. So greasy. Grease is the way we are feeling. Just add a spot of water to that, and then get that in the shelf below. Old goosey loose. So all we are left with then are those beautiful goose legs, which we will confit. What I will do with those is I will salt them down, leave them for a minimum of 4 hours or overnight, brush the salt off. I will lay those in a pan with the goose fat that's come off this goose. I will add some more and then make sure they're covered, and we'll turn it down and just let it gently tick over. But that's for another video. Right, let's get tidied up. So, what do you think of the show so far? Rubbish. Got a look here. Got a look here. I miss my vocation. Okay then, so after an hour, it will look a little something like that. How beautiful does that look? Now, if you look in the bottom here, I'll just put that to the back. That is all the fat that is rendered out. But if you remember at the start as well, I also put some fat in a baking tray, which is here. So it's rendered out. That's all that's left. But out of that fat pile, I got that pure gold. So that, and we'll add that to it as well. So out of one goose, we got all that. Absolutely nuts. So not a bad haul, if I say so myself, if I can get that out. Now what I will do with that then is I will let it cool, and then maybe tomorrow what I will do is reheat it gently, and then I will filter it, basically a saucepan, a sieve, either some kitchen roll or some J-cloth, let it seep through, get the impurities out, and there we will have that beautiful liquid gold, which we will confit those geese legs in. Right. All I need to do then is I'm just going to let that rest for a few minutes and we're going to cut into it. How cool. Okay, let's do it. Let's have a look. Bit of an awkward way to cut it, I know. Excuse my hands. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Oh, it's hot. Gotta have a go on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Loving that fat. Terrible. Oh yes, let's get it in me. So you know the drill by now. If you've liked what you've seen here today on the SRP, click subscribe when my face comes up down here. Also, follow me on my social media, on my Facebook, 2 pages, Scott Rea and the Scott Rea Project. Get on there, click like and follow. Also on my Twitter at Scott Rea Project, and please do check out my Patreon if you're feeling generous. The link will be in the description. But until next time, my friends, I'm going to go and eat this now and then get those goose legs into salt for the next video. All the best. Take care, my friends. Remember, grease is the way we are feeling. But it's good grease.